Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, what is going on? My name is Marin TM and welcome back to a brand new video here on the channel. Today we are going to be going over 6 things I wish I knew sooner in competitive Fortnite. But before we get into that, around 39% of you guys watching are not subscribed. So if you have been enjoying the daily uploads, consider subscribing. Let's also shoot for 2,000 likes on today's video. With that said, let's get into today's episode. The first thing I want to talk about is how ridiculously good the SteelSeries Apex Pro tankless keyboard actually is. And I just want to say, before anyone thinks I'm sponsored or affiliated with SteelSeries in any way, shape or form, that is definitely not the case. My goal is just to bring you my honest, unbiased opinion on different factors that I think has helped me become a better competitive player over the years. And the Apex Pro literally makes having fast mechanics so much easier. I also have the Razer Huntsman Mini with purple switches, which already is way inferior to linear switches, and the keyboard is good, but comes nowhere near the Apex Pro when it comes to performance. So what am I saying? Am I saying you should go out and buy the Apex Pro? No, not at all. You can still easily do great with another keyboard, because as we know, Fortnite is so much more than mechanics. And the Apex Pro will only make having faster mechanics easier, meaning doing chains of edits like triple edits. And this is something you rarely do in competitive anyways, so the $200 price tag is not worth it unless you're already planning on buying a $200 keyboard. The second thing I wish I knew sooner is how turning on one single setting pretty much doubled my FPS in endgames. And I know, it sounds too good to be true, but let me explain. Around 2 years ago, I ordered new PC parts to build a full brand new PC. It had more than good enough specs to supposedly be able to maintain a very high FPS during the 5th zone and out. So needless to say, I was extremely excited to get my new PC. A few days later, my PC comes in the mail, and I go get it and start building it as soon as I get home. To my bewilderment, when the PC was set up and I was playing my first endgame, I had 100 FPS. And I know for some people, that's really good, but considering the specs on the PC, I got pretty sad and frustrated. Was this really what I had to play on for the next few years? So I did what everyone else would do and searched up what may be the cause, and apparently, it was extremely important that I turn on XMP. This is a completely safe setting that makes your RAM work at a higher megahertz, which again results in better FPS when playing Fortnite. Not everyone has the option to enable XMP, but I've left a link in the video description on how to turn it on. So please do yourself a favor and check out that video and check whether or not you can enable XMP. It might make all the difference in the world. The next thing I wish I knew sooner is how tweaking a few color settings in NVIDIA control panel can make it so much easier to see your opponents when fighting in game. Okay, this part of the video will unfortunately only work if you have a NVIDIA graphics card. If you have AMD or anything else, you'll have to search up a separate individual video on how to fix colors on those respective graphics cards. But what you want to do if you have an NVIDIA graphics card is right-click on your desktop, click NVIDIA control panel, and then head down to adjust desktop color settings. Once you're in here, you simply just want to put your brightness to 60%, contrast up to 67%, and lastly and most importantly, turn your digital vibrance up to 80%. By the way guys, if your eyes feel strained and it hurts in any way looking at this brightness, then please do not use it. It's not worth it. But if it feels perfectly fine and you enjoy the colors, then using this setting might just give you a slight advantage over other players playing the game. Moving on to the fourth thing I really wish I knew sooner, we have understanding that all the small things matter. So for probably 3 years, I only focused on building, editing, and practicing my aim. What I didn't understand was the fact that practicing drops, practicing looting, practicing farming, practicing being a good teammate, and so on was just as important. Everyone that has played Fortnite for a long time has good mechanics and they know how to aim. But what I found out is that you can really set yourself apart from the competition if you just focus on multiple small things. Improving everything small will have an exponential growth on your improvement as a player. Only practicing mechanics and aim will have a very slow and steady increase in improvement, because most of you are already at an incredibly high level, both mechanically and aim-wise. Whereas you might be at a low level as a good teammate or as a farmer. Do you guys understand what I'm getting at? When I first realized this, I instantly started placing better and better in the tournaments I played, and consistency also came with it. So it's really something I wish I knew sooner. Queuing correctly is the second to last thing I want to talk about in today's video. So obviously everyone knows about the 3 game an hour rule, basically saying you should never play more than 3 games an hour. So if you die 3 games back to back to back off spawn 10 minutes into solo cash cup, then you wait 50 minutes to queue into your 4th game. But what I want to talk about is something way more beneficial than the 3 games an hour rule. And that is when you should queue into your last game. This is something I really wish I knew sooner, as this trick will result in you doing better. Like, it's absurd how good this trick is. So let's say you have played 8 games and you need a win with 5 kills to qualify, and there's 20 minutes remaining of the tournament you're playing. You are way better off queuing into your 9th game with 20 minutes left, calling that your last game, compared to going for 5 kills in a so-called W key game and then queuing when there's under 10 minutes remaining and going for a win with no kills. In short, if there's 20 minutes remaining of a tournament and you're queuing into that game, play that game out. That way, you will on average be doing so much better in the tournaments you participate in. The 6th and final thing I wish I knew sooner, and this is gonna sound so dumb, but it's the importance of having 3 big shields, splashes, or a keg, especially in solos, and maintaining the shields until the moving zones. What I'm talking about here is when I have bigs in first moving and I can be on 200 HP going into second moving, I know I more than likely have more health than my opponent. And that just makes me so confident in doing what's necessary to get a refresh. For the longest time, I played with 150 HP, or minis, right? In solo endgames. And I thought that that was normal, but that set me back a lot. So in the last 6 months, I've always been trying to get 3 bigs so I can have 200 HP in second and third moving. And as a result of this small little thing, I've seen major improvements in my solo cash cup placements. But guys, that's about it. That's gonna wrap up today's video. I really hope you enjoyed and maybe even learned a thing or two. Other than that, please go on to have an amazing night. My name is M1K3 Editz. Stay safe and take care.